this little lucky bugger sitting here.
Nice.
Holy.
I'm trying to think.
Single rig?
I'm trying to think of when I got this. Hold on, let me look. This had to be like 2016, maybe 17.
Rolling back the clock a wee bit there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
wow.
That's
wicked.
That's a beauty. That's an old Alan Hammond. That thing's sick. So yeah, put my name on it on the box and everything.
Have you used it?
No, can't bring myself.
You plan on?
I don't know. I don't know if I will.
What is it? Is it a duck or goose call?
Yeah, it's a duck call
from
my Uncle Al.
He does a bloody good job, eh?
Yeah.
He's just a good bugger. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter what you think. You know what I mean? You know, I would tell the story when I first met him. Well, I'll tell it first. I'll introduce everybody, then I'll tell it, and then I'll have to clean up the conversation a little bit with him.
I was wondering why that was going down.
So New Zealand is opening up. May 6th is your opening day. Everybody's like pinned and pegged their blinds and did everything, and everybody's getting their my straight, and their property and feeding and getting all the birds ready. So today, or I should, well, tonight, your today, we're talking to Connor, Carlaw. I don't have my accent on, so I would say it better if I did. You know?
It's Connor Carlaw.
Yeah. Hold on.
You were super close, man.
Hold on.
Jeez.
And Callum, McKenzie. So yeah, right, mate. I need to get you. How you going? Right. I'm not down there for
calling your down like that again.
I need to be down there for a little bit to get it back. I've lost it. So Connor guides. Callum does a bunch of video and production and pictures and stuff like that, and they're diehard waterfowl guys. So I wanted to get you guys on and get everybody pumped up for, you know, the New Zealand opener, and also, you know, like Final Approach is back into New Zealand, and we'll talk about that more. But you know, so I'll go back to Alan Hammond. I'll go back to the first time I meet him, right? So I go over, it's the first time I'm there, and everybody's like, I'm at Christchurch and I'm at the duck night there. It's at like a nightclub or like a restaurant or something, and everybody's like, you have to meet Alan, you have to meet Alan. And I was like, okay. And so at this point, like, I've heard all the stories from all the guys at Hunt and Fish in New Zealand, and they're just feeding me stories. And I'm like, what am I getting myself into meeting this guy? Like, what? He's like, he either likes you or he doesn't like you. I remember Holly and Jeff, well, Jeff Irvine mostly, and he's like, he's a weird bugger. He either likes you or, and I'm like, what? I'm like, it's like I'm meeting the godfather of New Zealand duck hunting, right? So
pretty much.
So what I didn't know when, you know, before I got down there was, you know, like, if you're a duck hunter, that means you go all season, right? Or you go a lot. If you're just like a duck shooter, you just like go like a little bit, or
you go for opening weekend, and then you go for a jump shoot mid-season, and that's about it.
Right. So I'm like, so I like learn that. So I'm like, okay. So the first thing, and I'll clean it up a little bit because I can't do all that. But so he comes up to me and he's got a drink in his hand and he looks all buggered like he always looks, right? I love him. And he's like, Maria. And I'm like, yep, Alan Hammond. And I'm like, yeah. He just leans into me and he goes, mate, are you a duck shooter or a duck hunter? And I said,
was good. That's pretty well.
Right? And I looked at him for a second and I said some colorful words and I go, I'm a duck killer. And he goes, oh, mate, we're going to get along. We're going to get along great. So that's like my first meeting, the godfather of New Zealand, you know what I mean? And then it's Jeff and Hunter, and then it's then you guys come along, and it's just like all these guys start popping up down there. So you guys got a pretty good culture down there. You know what I mean? Like it's tradition. It's pretty cool down there.
That is nice. Opening's pretty big, especially in South Island. Like the further south you go, the bigger it gets, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Like all the sports cancelled.
Mm-hmm.
Friday day off, all the rest of it. They get pretty into it.
All the local pubs have a duck shooter's breakfast or a duck hunter's breakfast at 5 o'clock in the morning or 4:30. It's quite a large community down here. Good.
Yeah, I mean all the duck nights, like all the stores, like everybody has their duck nights wherever they're gonna have them. I mean, oh my God, I've been down there twice, and I went to so many duck nights in so many places, and each and every one is like like different and cooler than the other one. You know what I mean? Like it's bananas. Like Dunedin and Scott's store, or you go over to Larry's or you go to Quinny's and Otago, Oamaru, and you just kind of go to all these places, and you go up to Simon's. Oh my God, that one's huge. Oh
yeah,
bananas.
They're going up after his staff and his customer base.
It's huge. You go up to Simon's and then like go down to Mike Stentz down in Invercargill, and you're like, holy crap! Like there's a lot of guys, that waterfowl hunt and duck hunt. So man, I can't wait. I can't wait to come back down and just freaking go everywhere.
Just stay in the South Island.
Yeah, just stay with us, Mario. You don't have to go anywhere else.
Just stay in the South.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
I do. Listen, I'll go to the North Island and hang out with those guys and do everything. And we had a hell of a goose hunt up there with Shane Hartstone. Shane's like the cooking guru now. If you see him, he's always got like some giant piece of meat on a smoker. Like when you see, we had a hell of a goose shoot with Shane. Oh my God, we throttled him on the North Island. So, and that was at the Waikato. That was in that area. So we had a blast. So yeah, I do like the South Island though. I mean, you just get to more rural, you get to more places where nobody goes, you know what I mean? It's more wide open. It's like
way better scenery too, eh?
It's pretty wild. I just love down there. Everybody's so nice and everything's so cool. So
Don't tell everyone.
huh?
Don't tell everyone that.
So us Final Approach kind of coming back down there. I mean, it's no secret, like everybody knows, like I worked at Avian X. I did all I could to get Avian X in there, and it's still been going strong. And then I won't say what they're doing or what's going on, but I got a shot to get the Final Approach stuff in. So we're kind of making a little go of it this year, and then hopefully we could ramp up going into next year. But the thing that I'm excited about is, I know what guys need down there because I've hunted down there, I've been down there, and it's like, all the other companies that kind of do stuff, like nobody's really pays attention or comes down or does anything. You guys are like, I don't want to say the lost souls, but it's like, like I remember, like I said, oh, I'll come down the first year. I said I would come down, and they're like, what? They're like, will you really? And I was like, yeah. And then I came down again. They're like, what? So, and it's like, they weren't used to like people coming down and doing that kind of stuff. And I was like, no, that's the cool part. That's how you figure out like what you guys need. You know what I mean? Why is it so different than the US or Canada or Europe? Like you guys have a totally different way of doing stuff. And not all of it, but there's certain things. I mean, the terrain, you know, like I remember when we were goose hunting, we were close to the coast. And when we were driving out in the car, Shane said, I hope they're not still in the field. And I was like, what? And he was like, well, if they stay in the field, like they'll be there when we get there. And I'm thinking to myself, why the hell would they not stay on the water? And I'm like, oh, and then it's like, you guys don't have any predators. Like, spook them out at night, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
I would have never known that. You know,
no ration, you know, no predators. They get it pretty good over here, right? So yeah, and they know how to make a mess of a paddock. That's for sure.
Well, right on the nests, right? You guys got to do your, you know, the stoats and the minks and whatever you guys got. You gotta do that kind of predator. But like for a full grown goose, you know what I mean? Like there's nothing that'd take it down, really. You know what I mean?
Nah.
You guys don't have a coyote or a fox or anything like that. I mean, you barely have birds of prey. So, you know, I didn't know all that. You know.
Yeah. No, it's a pretty pretty safe place here. You don't have to worry about any of that sort of stuff. It's hard for us to leave.
Yeah,
it's pretty about all that.
It's pretty cool.
You're right about
coming
down and like that whole face to face, and like that goes a long way for Kiwis. I think like you know, making the effort to come down and meet guys face to face and push your product like that goes a long way with Kiwis, for sure.
Yeah. So Connor, why don't you? So you were doing what before you started guiding? Like what wanted you to? What wanted you to do that? What got you going on that?
Well, I suppose I was dairy farming for several years, milking cows, sort of got a bit over that. So started cranking up on the waterfowling side of things and the geese over the last 14, 15 years, but really started giving it a good nudge the last 5 or 6, and didn't have the time of the day to milk cows, shoot a goose or shoot a duck. It was just a bit tiring, if you like. So thought I'll weigh up the options. You either want to bloody work yourself to a standstill and not having time for yourself, or give the hunting a bit of a nudge. And then we've got a lot of properties over here that we have hunted regularly for the last 14, 15 years, and I sort of put it out there a couple of years ago that I wanted to sort of start out a bit of a guiding sort of outfit, if you like, to the farmers and all that. And they just thought it was great. Hey, they thought, oh, it'll be great. That means you'll be here all the time. You'll be pushing these birds around all the time.
Right.
But you'll be full time. So we've got plenty of we've got a massive scope of coastal waterfowl areas, high country, all up and down throughout the South Canterbury or the South Island. So you'd be silly not to. I don't know of many waterfowling outfits, but not to the extent that we sort of take it to. I like to say that we're probably the more professional out of the lot.
Specialised, there's obviously a lot of big game outfitters and fishing guys. A lot of them, and they do, run waterfowl hunts on the side, but probably to the extent that Connor's doing, that's for sure. He definitely specialises.
Usually if you go and you shoot your red deer, which most of the outfitters are doing, they're doing a chamois or a red deer or something like that. Like if you shoot one early or whatever, what else are you going to do? You go shoot some birds or, go fishing. I mean, you're doing fishing too, Connor. Like you guys have, the fishing is bananas. You know what I mean? Like I'm like not, I fish here like because I got nothing to do. I got nothing to shoot at, right? So I go fishing, right? But over there, like you guys got incredible fishing, whether it's, offshore. We did red snapper when I was down one time, which was freaking crazy, right? And you guys have, I mean, the trout is just nuts. And, I remember being on the boat with Hunter going up the river, and the thing that people don't understand about New Zealand, and you guys are spoiled and you guys don't even know it, is the water is so clear there that if you guys came here, you would be like, you can't even see, like you put your arm in the water and you're like, you can't see it, right? Down there, I'm like looking at these fish and I'm like, slow the boat down. I'm like, look at the size of these fish. And Hunter's like, oh yeah, bro, that's like 17 feet deep. And I was like, what? Looks like I just stick my hand in and grab them. They're like right there.
Yeah.
You guys are
there's a lot of that. The goose hunting over the years has just unlocked everything for us, like just persistence with hunting and things like that. It unlocks a massive array of outdoor activities. So just that persistence over the last 14, 15 years has led me to where I am now. Access to bull tahr and red deer on private land.
Right.
Crystal clear spring-fed glacial rivers. Great big mountain tarns, like a pond in the top of the mountains. Just beautiful scenery, and I think you'd be down not to take up that opportunity of trying out a guide, a guiding outfit, and giving it a good nudge when you've got everything on your doorstep. You've got all the access that you need. I think it's.
You might as well.
I think it's going to go good, but it's not like no one knows about us. We've only been going for 10 months now. I'm a drop in the ocean. No one knows about us, so I don't expect to hit the ground running and expect to have clients all over the show and this, that, the next thing. But it's going to take time, and I've got the patience, but I'm going to make it happen.
Well, here's the other thing. Like people are still a little shy coming out of COVID for travel. So you're coming off of all of that. You know what I mean? Like people are just really getting back into going places. And it's like, if you want a bucket list trip that I think, because I've been there and I know, and I've been a lot of places, and it's no doubt a bucket list trip, like whether it's waterfowl or trout fishing or red deer or tar or chamois or whatever, like what else? What other deer you guys have? Why can't I think of it? Fallow deer. Yeah. And the fallow deer, like you guys have so much. Shoot a wallaby or two,
Yeah.
Couple.
Everywhere.
Yeah, a couple thousand rabbits at night or something if you're bored,
Yeah. Just in a day's work, eh?
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Holy God, when I met the first rabbiteer, when I first met the first rabbiteer there, Callum, I was like, he's like, oh yeah, I go from this place to, I just go from this farm to this farm, and he was talking about like, I shot 500 rabbits last night here, and then I went, here for another 400, and I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, that's my job. And I was like,
pest control is a real good business to be in New Zealand at the moment, eh? Like, there's a lot of guys, especially our age. We've got a few friends that are getting right into it too. Like, and they're just knocking over wallabies flat out.
Right.
Not so much bunnies, but wallabies, especially around where we live, it's like wallaby central. Like, they're just bloody everywhere. Like, there's stories of one just in someone's garden here the other day.
I'm like stunned. I was stunned like about that. So then I was like, okay, this place is nuts. So yeah, I mean, and bucket list. So listen, bro, you're just getting your name out there, so it'll start happening. Plus, like I said, even the fishing guys, like fly fishing guys or trout fishing guys, I mean, it's world class down there. Everything that goes on down there is world class. Plus, you're talking about the scenery. Like you can't really understand the scenery until you're there.
No, you gotta be to experience it. But that's another thing that you offer. We offer like we're not only going to hunt birds, but like you said, it's hard to explain. You just have to be there. But I understand people are really timid because I haven't had an American group come in yet, so I haven't got any references or anything like that. But I've got a group coming over at the start of the end of May.
Oh.
So I can only assume it's gonna go from there. I've had a couple from the UK ducks last year. That was before we actually started up properly, and just had quite a few fly fishing clients this year, which went really well. Got a repeat client that's coming over November, December this year. It's only can only get better. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, wait till just word of mouth. Like wait till those guys come over at the end of May and like shoot someplace and the water's so clear, and it's just it's sick. It is absolutely sick. So
we've got something in the pipeline at the moment regarding I probably shouldn't say too much, but a Scottish guiding company. So might possibly head over there this year and meet them and do a bit of guiding with them and spend a couple of weeks with them. And, come back and see how it all goes. But I think getting into that guiding community on the other side of the world, that's where it's at. Networking, that's for sure. Like obviously the all our social media platforms, that's the only way that we can sort of get across to the other side of the world, so that we're heavily reliant on that. But I think to go over to Scotland, for an example, and do the real deal and spend time with clients and meet people like that, so on and so forth. I don't think it's a step backward.
You gotta get your name out. Plus, it's word of mouth too. Somebody comes over, a good group comes over, they have a good time, they tell all their buddies. Like it'll spread. You know what I mean? It'll spread. Plus, we need to get you up to Canada so you can start guiding up there or whatever. I talked to my buddy Tyler, and he's full with guys right now, but he's been toying opening another camp, and he's been just right there. So we'll see if that happens. Then we'll have to get you over. Then your head might explode when you're up there, because that's
wide open spaces, hundreds of thousands of birds. I've seen it all over the bloody internet. It's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Oh, it's nuts. But coming down to you guys, totally different scenery, different everything. Like the river hunting's different, like everything is hunting, and it's so different. So I enjoy it. I think it's a freaking incredible place. So what are you guys going to any duck nights, or what are you guys doing?
We got one next week. Got the Ballingers one up in Timaru, Simon and Jeremy out there. So
you're going to Simon?
Simon, formerly Cameron Moore's old store. Let's say.
Oh, the one in Christchurch?
Yep, that's the one. Yep. Yeah. That's usually a pretty good duck night. That's where
I met Alan. That's where I met Alan. That was Cameron's store. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and, probably at the Carlton pub or something like that in town. Usually a pretty good spot for a beer or three.
Oh yeah. There'll be a couple pints there. Don't worry. Yeah, nobody will get scared away at the bar. Don't worry.
No, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty good one. It's usually one of the bigger ones around the country. I think it's hard to compete with old Simon O'Connor up in Manawa too.
What are you guys shooting? What are you guys shooting opening weekend? What are you doing opening day? Like, is it because I know it's a lot of places and a lot of families. It's the whole family, or everybody comes in from everywhere. So what are you guys doing for the opener?
Oh, okay. Well, we've shot a public lake for the last 13 or 14 or 12 or 13 years. About a 400 hectare lake, got 40 odd hunters on it. But you sort of start to get used to, start learning how it all works and all that. And it's never a surprise when you end up with however many birds you ended up for the weekend. So we sort of wanted to try somewhere a little bit different this year. We might look at shooting a local river, doing trafficking birds, running big spreads. Things that we just wanted to try it up.
Yeah.
Something we wanted to try for a long time. So good variety of hunting. Ducks all cut up in your face, like on the lake. It's your standard shot that you're shooting about 40 yards, 45 yards. It's a bit of a stretch, but you sort of get used to it after a while. But yeah, I think the old river would be pretty enjoyable. I think Cal done it a few years ago, and he's always done it. And yeah, enjoy it.
Well, the lake's probably a little bit more chaos with everybody on it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and once the shooting starts,
we call it the popcorn machine. It's pretty full on. It's it's very frustrating breaking ducks down from great heights and cooling your lungs out and bursting blood vessels, and then you get them just down to 50, 60 yards, about to fully commit over your spread, and some bugger bloody starts shooting away. Which that's the joy of public land, and that's why your birds are a lot more rewarding. But that's right.
Yeah,
there's obviously something there that we enjoy so much to keep going back. But that's when you shoot your massive mixed bags for the opening, because everyone's out and about, and you'll get a full mixed bag of quite a high tally. So it's always enjoyable, and it's hard to let that go and try somewhere else, not knowing unknown. But it's always good to, why not, give it a nudge. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I mean, here I try to, all the way throughout the whole year, I try to just avoid the crowds, and I'd rather shoot 2 birds in some quiet little hole, than shoot 50 in some popcorn machine, like you're saying. You know what I mean? Sometimes I just need a little peace and quiet.
It doesn't hurt.
I suppose for us, it's more just trying to carry on that tradition, like my father there from when he was 18 to however old he is now, which I probably shouldn't say. He'd be very happy about that. And then my grandfather shot there, and my great grandfather. So it's quite cool to just carry on that tradition.
Well, sure.
Yeah. There's a lot of just all good. I love it.
Yeah.
Good.
Just don't start drinking the spites until you're done.
No, right? Yeah. The worst part about waterfowl and culture in New Zealand,
we
leave the booze at home.
Right? I do not agree with that one, but it's bad. Does that carry on?
I remember shooting the river. I won't say which one, but I'll just say we went with Alan Hammond. It was me and Alan and his buddy. I think his buddy's name is Alan as well. Alan, and then Alan's son was in with his buddy. And it was like they cooked the whole time we were out. Like somebody was on the grill the whole time. And I was like, are you guys going to hunt? Oh, I'm just having a sandwich.
About half an hour ago. Come on. Yeah.
We had a really good time. So the river hunting there, I really enjoyed. And we hunted a couple different ones. I loved it. I thought that was, pretty cool. So, and the big my minds are good. Like you sit in and you're having, you're cooking everything right there, and everybody's shooting and having a good time. Like that's still good too. Because everybody's together. So you guys definitely have some cool stuff. There's no doubt about it. So you got all your decoys and all your stuff set. You ready? Everybody's itching.
Everything's all rigged. Can't wait to try all the new FA gear. It should be good, eh?
Yeah.
Listen to it. Cal, you do a bit of river shooting, eh?
Love it. Yeah, we were probably in most of our stuff as kids. Growing up, Dad was always out on the river. I suppose life for us kind of evolved around the river. Like Dad's dad, Granddad for us was on the edge of a big river in the South Island. I won't say where, because that'll give where we do and what we do. But we were always brought up on the river. So salmon season, rolls into duck season rolls into trout season.
On the river all the time.
Yeah.
No matter the whole year.
That's it, pretty much. Yeah, so that's what we're brought. And then you throw a wee bit of big water stuff in there too,
I would do it too. I would do the river all the time. I would just stay on the river. I'd live on the river.
Good for you. It's good for you. But and then you throw on the places like Lake Ellesmere and Waituna Lagoon down the south, and that's a bit of a
you get on the big water. Yeah, Ellesmere,
Yeah.
I didn't shoot.
Oh
Ellesmere, I
man,
didn't shoot. I know. I listen. I've heard all the stories. I've heard stories from all the guys, and everybody always says. And then when the wind kicks up, and I see the pictures and the video, like I know. I just haven't done it. Like I didn't have the opportunity yet. So yeah, that's
it'll beat you
a
up.
historic. That's historic place, no doubt.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's got a lot of history there for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of heritage, a lot of history, and yeah, there's a lot of guys there that have got a lot of stories. You know.
Oh yeah.
All sorts.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It's definitely a cool place. There's no, I mean, we drove by it, we looked at it, the whole deal. It was right before the season. Actually, I was at Cameron's, because he drove me up there to go take a look at it. He's like, you got to see this. He's like, we stick the boat in and we go and do all this stuff. He was telling me everything about it. So I was like, yeah. And then he was like, this place could get real nasty when the wind comes up. And I was like, yeah, I bet. So
yeah.
It looks pretty cool. So I was like, yeah, I didn't do that, but I need to probably put that on my list just to say I did it,
It's weather dependent, like if you have some good days out there when it's fine and calm, but really need to win. Yeah, good really southerly coming. Yeah, you just got to win. Just move the ducks around, because otherwise they'll just sit out.
They just stir them up.
Birds are pretty happy that they can sit out some rough stuff.
Yeah, I just call it the Ellesmere Sky Busting Society, because they get shot at.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, they fly around, coming along at a nice level, and then they get close to the shore and they just go sky high.
Yeah, they know what's going on.
Yeah, they do.
The birds get hit on anything. It doesn't matter where you are. They get used to everything. They know what's going on,
I would hate to hunt that place on opening day. It would be so frustrating.
Well, yeah, it's frustrating.
Yeah. We've been pretty lucky where we've been hunting like with opening for us is always down on one of the big rivers in the South Island. One of the biggest, I think. My brother and I found a nice sort of backwater 10, 11 years ago, and over the years it's just developed into a bit of a willow hole, as close as New Zealanders are going to get to hunting timber anyway. And that's just keep producing ducks. And it's not a really good flight line. It's not ducks really use it, but there's a lot of calling.
You get them in, right?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, calling like that's the best part, especially my brother's pretty handy on a duck call as well, and get a couple of mondos down in there and get the ducks out. It's good fun, real good fun.
I don't doubt it. The river, like I said, the river hunting to me down there, like if you have some backwater, you have a little spot or whatever you got, like that's every time we were crossing a river, I was like, oh, that looks, I want to get on that one.
Most of them hold ducks as well. That's the beauty about it. Whether it's like you might be hunting Braided River or you might be hunting something that's quite swampy, it can vary so much too.
Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there was a couple. I mean, there's different. There was one we hunted that was really rocky, you know what I mean, like the bottom and stuff like that. And then another one's got like really hard current. Like there's like it's different. There's definitely different river systems down there to hunt. It's pretty cool. You guys have, like I said, a lot of different things going on down there on what you could possibly hunt. And the goose hunting is just, that's the duck hunting. The goose hunting is just, like I remember being down there and I remember the guys going like, yeah, there's really no rules. And I was like,
yeah, Matt doesn't make us feel a little bit about it.
It's like, what do you mean there's no rules? It's like, yeah, like it's an invasive species, so you can just kind of shoot it all year and there's really no rules.
Which is silly because that Canada geese were on the game list and they were a game bird.
Right.
And then they got taken off all of a sudden. What year was it? 2010? Or?
Yeah, it was probably 10 or 15 years ago.
Maybe 15.
It was that long ago?
Yeah.
And they've just gone gangbusters, something like that, everywhere now. I mean, they're pretty robust bird, I suppose, but they are really everywhere.
But what's the numbers? The numbers are still high, though.
Oh, man. Like, I was talking to where I'm working at the moment, the next farmer up at the head of one of the big lakes down here. reckons they've shot over 40,000 in the last 10 years, and that's just during their culls. Like it's and that's not that's that's doing their culls. So that's
not
hunting them how they should.
That's not hunting. That's just netting them and killing them. Yeah,
well, more or less, putting them jet boats and get a couple of choppers working. And I mean, it's pretty. They've got to do it because they say 3 geese to a sheep. Yeah. So if you have 2,000 birds using the paddock, it's a lot of food.
New Zealand's not big enough to have large numbers, so you have to find that medium of population control and things like that. But they are sort of getting to a stage now, like especially in a couple of places where we hunt. There used to be a winter flock of like 300 or 400 that would be your standard, but now there's nothing. There's ring the farmer up, because usually they'd ring you up at this time of the year and go, we've got a problem, can you come in? Yep, sweet as. And now I'm ringing them and going, any honkers to shoot? What's going on?
So some places are losing them.
Decimated, pushing them further south.
So that's the flip side to it, isn't it? Because then you go an hour down the road somewhere else, and it's like
they haven't been touched. They've just been blown out of one catchment.
They shouldn't be
pushed down
where they are.
Well, they're probably just adapting to what's going on. You know what I mean? 100%. Whether it's pressure or food or whatever else. You know what I mean?
There's a zone in the high country where they cull, and it's the shape of a triangle where they have been heavily culled the last 4 or 5 years. So in that zone they've been decimated, but out of that zone, it's like they haven't been touched. It's a really old setup, but it's completely out of our control. But we've still got the access out of that zone. So we're no skin off our nose. We just have to travel an extra 40 minutes or half an hour.
Is that all the public is in between that as well? So there's plenty of opportunity. Yeah, a lot of it. Not a lot of it, but there is
a good chunk of it.
Access there, where you could.
Is that high country stuff? Is that part of Molesworth or no?
Nah, Molesworth
that's different.
Further north, but it's different. Like it's the same scenario.
Same, but different.
Yeah. Okay.
Same, but different. The same. Same, but different.
I'll always see like a post from like Tracy and Hunter and those guys, like when they go to Molesworth and how like cold it is and what like just some crazy, you look like you have to be crazy to go do that, and I'm like, I'm up for that.
She's all about it.
I would sign up for that. You know what I mean? So
I'd rather just get a phone call and go and do a job.
I don't know. Molesworth's pretty neat. It's the whole camp.
I suppose I can't bag it. I haven't been there. So
the trouble is the guys that run it, they run it on a full moon every year.
Right.
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
No, they run it on a full moon, and so all the geese. I don't know what they do in the States if they fly on a full moon like at night, but when it's full moon here, man, that's all the flying they do at that night time. Yeah. So when it's full moon, like you might as well shut up shop. I understand that.
It's no different here.
This year's been very odd. Like from what we've learnt over the years about full moons and things like that, it's been if you go and hunt a full moon, it's been a waste of time. Yeah. But we get a month into what we call the season, but it's when they start flying after their molt. We had a couple of really, really good hunts on a full moon, and only 130 birds using the field, and would be picking up, just shy of 100 like that. It was just stupid. Still shooting geese at 9:30 at night.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
And that, one of the hunts I'll never forget. They started flying at 4 o'clock.
That's right.
We got there, and we're like,
it was windy though.
Yeah, we're pulling our hair out, going, oh no, they're already flying. Got to the paddock, and but anyway, we chipped away at them, and it was a hunt of a lifetime, I reckon.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that kind of stuff is the same as over here. You know what I mean? Like as far as you're talking about the full moon and some birds moving out of some areas and the pressure and what's going on in food or whatever else, it's all the same stuff. Like that is the same, Yeah.
That's cool.
What's the duck numbers like for this year? Are you guys looking pretty good?
Yeah.
What was Fish and Wildlife saying? The Fish and Game?
Yeah, I think I haven't actually had a decent look at that numbers, but
kind of a touchy subject for me. I bumped into the probably shouldn't say it, but I bumped into the Fish and Game Ranger at 3:30 in the afternoon to go down and count the bird numbers on a public bit of water.
Right.
When we were getting down there, birds were leaving, going out to feed. So you're trying to write down the specifics on bird numbers and letting the region know what the bird numbers are like in the area and things like that. Going down and counting them at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the birds are already starting to leave. So you're not getting any.
No.
You're not
getting the right read.
Your figures are not going to be correct.
Yeah.
You need to be going there from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock to about 2 o'clock, no later, when they're hitting the roost. It's just starting to rest up. So when it comes to numbers and them writing it down, I'm sorry, excuse my language, but I think it's bullshit.
You got to do it at the right time. Right. That makes total sense. I mean, you can't look at a roost. Right.
It's your job. You should know that by now. Do you know what I mean? That's a little bit frustrating because us a little more serious waterfowlers like to know what's going on with the bird numbers and why the limits are that, and why that's risen or why that's dropped. But when the figures aren't correct or like you can't go off. Yeah, that is such a simple thing to do. Like surely you would know to get down there a little bit. So that for me, is really frustrating because it's
well, and who knows? Maybe he's got a couple places he's got to hit, and he only has so much time. Like, who knows? But yeah, they got to have like some better planning and some better stuff because you got to be looking at it when the numbers are there, so you get the right numbers. There's no doubt. Yeah.
That's the other thing is that bit of water you talk about is probably one of the main hunted or most hunted areas
in the biggest roost.
Yeah, exactly. Around
biggest
that area.
Numbers for that area.
Then you need to get good counts on that. Then, if that's one of the main ones, right? Yeah.
You need to get the best way to do it. They do it with their salmon counts and that sort of thing. Is getting a fixed wing or get chopper
or a drone. Drones are
yeah, but
take a photo, count your birds. That's all they do on the fixed wing.
Yep.
Take a photo, count them. Yep. Same as on the drone. Not that hard.
It's costly.
Well,
so much.
I mean, I'm sure it'll be a busy week this week and weekend, and then going into next week because of everything. Like everybody, the thing that blew me away was how many guys were buying stuff last minute. You know what I mean? Because when I'd be at I remember being, I don't know where I was Friday before the opener. I think I was in McCargill. I think that's where I was on one of the years. It was insane. Guys coming in, guns, ammo, decoys, calls, like just getting everything, like just madness. So couple days before the season, right up into it'll be nuts. So I mean, it's awesome to be back. I've been kind of breaking the guys at Hunting Fishing, for like the last couple of years, like, hey, let me know when we got a shot to get in there. I think I got some good stuff. I know what you guys need. I know what we're building and the quality and everything else. So I was pretty excited that we got a shot. So yeah, hopefully guys go in and start looking and starting to see us, be a part of down there.
100%. Yeah, we've been hanging. I can remember 10, 15 years ago, we had a couple of their DVDs at home of the old FA ones, and it was like my brother and I were like scratching our head trying to figure out how we could get our hands on the stuff, and then when we finally start seeing you in New Zealand, I was like, finally,
It
was pretty cool.
That time we had some good stuff in the
Yeah, it was pretty neat. That was no days off and Stranglehold, and I still watch those things.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool on my side going from like when I got into the like the hunting side of it when I started guiding, and then like back then it was called pro staffing, not influencing or whatever. So when that happened, like that was like one of the first companies that I did stuff with was Final Approach, because it was Ron Latshaw at the time who was in charge, and that was right out of Oregon here. And then it was, Bill Saunders was there, and Foyles was there, and all these guys were there, and it was like, man, if you weren't a part of that, like if you didn't have a black hoodie with Final Approach on it, like you weren't going to kill any birds, so we're trying to we're kind of trying to bring that that tradition back, you know what I mean? So
I think with Callum being such a bloody handy man on a camera, and with his videography, he's probably picked the right job, to be fair. He's that bloody good that we want him to come with us on our hunts and our guided hunts and things like that, and he's going to be a number one to help us advertise with throwing out some good content. So he's pretty impressive behind the lens. So
very amateur.
I'm excited. Like I'm pumped for a lot of stuff to go on. So yeah, I know he's good on the camera. So I know what's coming. So yeah. We got a couple things. We got a couple things up our sleeve. We're just waiting. We're just hanging out. Just getting started slow. You want some mallards, some black ducks, some honkers. Yeah. Go to the store, go check out Hunt and Fish, buy it. Go ahead, buy. We got a little something for you. Don't worry, there's gonna be more. So
it's
gonna be like magic. It's all right. We'll start slow. I'm good with that. Listen, you guys are a huge help down there, and hooking up with you guys so we can get kind of going down there. And I mean, crap, I can't wait to come down and see you guys and go over and see Hunter and Jeff and freaking Tracy, and I gotta go see Mr. Boom down at Tracy's, that old dog. That's my favorite, the tuxedo. The old tuxedo, he's dressed up all the time. I got to go see Mr. Boom. So yeah, great people down there. So yeah, I'm excited to get back. So hopefully next year around this time I'll be down. So I'm just putting it on my calendar now. So so good. Listen, what's a place to get a hold of you guys? Websites or IG, or give your socials out so people can find you, like, and if somebody wants to come down for a hunt, Connor, or a fishing trip or whatever, where are they looking?
You can either find us on Facebook, which is Central South Waterfowl New Zealand, or our website, centralsouthwaterfowlnz.com. Okay. Or our Instagram, Central South Waterfowl _NZ. And that's where you can find us. Flick us an email or a message, and we can sort it out from there. Yeah, that's about us.
And NZ, for all you US people, that's NZ. Okay.
Yeah. The abbreviation for New Zealand. Yeah, look at that one.
What about you, Callum? Braided Creative, or where do they find you if anybody wants anything, some slick pictures from old Slick Fingers over there?
Trying to keep it pretty sharp, trying to keep it pretty clean, but no, just on Instagram, Braided Creative. Yeah, that's what I mean.
You got some good content.
Hopefully, yeah. Get some more out. Yeah.
YouTube. What a
I do.
I'm scared.
What's your take on YouTube, Mario? Is that still a thing? Is there Instagram Reels and things like that now? Do people pump the YouTube, or is
everything's still going? Everything's still going. I think the way people are viewing stuff now, it's more on your phone. You could plug your, you get your TV going on YouTube and watch a show instead of seeing it on TV. Like, Reels are really big still. So, I mean, here's the thing. There's so much going on your device. Like, it's madness, right? So you have to be everywhere. You know what I mean? You do. You have to be on every platform just to let everybody know you're alive. You know what I mean? And going, and you just got to keep sticking content out. So, you know, everybody's waiting for that big, like that big post that, you know, they get 1 million views off of, you know what I mean? But you'll never hit one of those. You might not ever hit one of those, right? But you definitely won't hit it if you don't post stuff. So you know what I mean? Like
hunting, if you're not out there, then you're not going to be
right.
I posted, you won't believe this. Have a look on my reels on my Instagram. I posted a video that I videoed off, like, it looks like a Nokia, like the worst quality video you could ever think of. And here I am spending all this admin, cutting down videos and buying new phones and things like that to try and make some better viewing, if you like. I've got a reel on there of me one-handing shooting a swan with my phone in my hand. I took it like 2014 or something. I posted it 3 or 4 months ago, and I got 1.1 million views. I was like, "What, bro? What? How does that work?" Well, I couldn't believe it.
I'm going to look for it right now.
Yeah. Have a look in my reels, and it's like got some yellow Rapo-y stuff at the start. I didn't even try. Like, I just said, "Oh, that'll do." Chucked it up, and it just went out. It just went ballistic.
I'm looking for like the worst colored video screen that I could find to see where it is. You know what I mean?
It's real. It's got a real yellow background. I'll show you.
It's that shitty.
No, well, it's just a still photo, obviously, of the reel. But I don't know if you can see that. It's.
Hold on. Go this way a little. Let me see. Keep going. All right, I'm looking for it right now. How far down is it? Right, that's the bottom, so it's up more. I'll find it and I'll crack up. But that's the thing we're talking about. Like, how are you going to get that if you don't put it out there, right?
I'll show you. Just a real crappy video on my Nokia. I posted it on one-handed and just smacked the swan, and I hit the big water. They got 16,500 likes and 1.1 million views, and I didn't even try. I think I was hungover when I posted it. I was like, "Oh, that'll do," and just went out the gate.
Well, that's what's funny. So there you go. You got one of those, but you got to keep posting. So you just keep going. You know what I mean? You got to. So social's just a part of everything now. So too funny. Well, good. Well, then if folks want to look you guys up, they'll look you guys up. If they need to get a hold of you, they can get a hold of me or whatever, and we can direct them down there. And we'll talk when the season's going too, to see how you guys are doing, because I'll be bored over here. It'll be summertime. I'll be bored out of my mind. So
have you guys got snows and turkeys while we're doing our duck season?
Turkeys are going on like now. We're actually going to go for snows up in Canada. It's like the last part of snow, like the spring snows. So we're going to head up and do that. Yeah. It's nuts. It's nuts. If you catch them, like we're going to be pretty much at one of the furthest points north through Saskatchewan. So when we catch them, like if we catch them bottle up, like it'll get real Western real quick.
Yeah. Mario, can you answer me this?
Yeah.
How is it that you guys in the States have hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of waterfowl species, whether it's mallard, pintail, Canadian geese, lessers, specks, snows, and the limits are so low? How does, like, you might go somewhere, I understand that you haven't got no limits on snows in some areas, or in some seasons and things like that, but Canada's mallards, you've got like limits of 4 or 5 per person. That's where you got all these massive groups of 20 to 25 or 15 or a dozen blokes going out and having a crack. Why is it that your numbers are so high? Is it because there are just that many more hunters in the States, and that as that migration, as they move down that flight line or that what's they call it? Flyway. Yeah. As they move down, they get chipped away, or are they low because it's just so many hunters about, or there's got to be a reason? Like, because I think of it from a farming point of view, you've got 100,000 geese or whatever, 20,000 geese or whatever hitting one field, and this poor old farmer's trying to grow his crop for winter or for summer. How is that? How is that viable? I don't understand how that'll work. Can you give a quick rundown on that?
So the numbers are really concentrated when they start in Canada, right? And as they move south, you know, the majority of the crops in the lower 48, like through the States, is already harvested. You know what I mean? Now there's some different places so out west here, like where the slot that I'm in is like the grass seed capital of the world. So there's all kind of grass, and the birds in this flyway will eat the grass. So we're actually, that is still up, and it's a problem here. So they try to give you, you know, a decent limit to try to shoot the birds and get them moving, and how many days and all kind of stuff like that. But when they're setting everything else, they're just setting everything else by the numbers. Like, they're not really looking at, you know, the agriculture part of it, or the farmers like losing crops, because the majority of the people that would be losing are everybody up in the provinces in Canada, because crops are just coming off, the birds are coming through in huge groups. And that's when the farmers are calling, you know, the outfitters and getting everybody and want them out of the swaths and get them out of the peas, you know what I mean, and stuff like that, because they are losing it. Like down here, by the time the birds get down in thick numbers, the majority of the ag is already, you know, harvested and moved on, you know what I mean? So they're not losing, you know, they're not losing any dollars, let's call it. Like I said, unless they have like a grass or something that's coming up at a different time and isn't being, you know, really harvested, you know, they're growing it, and it's not like there's not like a seed head or anything that they have to get off or whatever like that, you know what I mean? And it depends on the weather. Like if, like, because I know out here, like if we get rain real early, like there might be some fields where there might be corn somewhere where they can't get it off, you know what I mean, and they just leave it, and then the birds will just hammer it. But he already wrote it off as a total loss, so it doesn't really matter, you know what I mean? So that's where you guys is a little different, and the migration for you guys is really different than what we have, you know what I mean? Like
well,
you're growing your own birds.
Those older birds have to go somewhere. Like we've looked on that.
They do get around for sure, but
that tracking.
Yeah, they do collar a few of them.
Yeah, and you look on that, and you can definitely see that they're going from the Alps or the mountains out to the coast, and then to Ellesmere. Now that's the route that they're taking is quite, like, for New Zealand, for it being such a small country, that's to us it's quite a way away.
But it's like minuscule compared to what you guys are.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're probably.
And that's just over that molting period. They must go, by the looks of it, they go and molt on Ellesmere and then literally fly back.
Vice versa. Like I can remember sitting. I used to live close to Ellesmere, and like in December or February, so they're either, you know, like going into the molt as around Christmas and New Year's.
Right.
You quite often hear big flocks of geese leaving the lake on full moons. You sit out there at night time having a few beers with your mates, and all of a sudden there'll be trying to geese fly over, heading to the mountains or coming back.
Either or, right. Going or coming. Yeah.
But, you know, these geese are probably only trapped maybe 400 kilometers top. Not
not even.
They do a loop.
Yeah, true.
Well, they have their own routes. You know what I mean? They have their own routes. So, like you said, coming down and going back up, it's the same thing here. You know what I mean? I could tell you right now, like almost the majority of small Canada geese have left. There's a little bit still here, but they should just about all be gone. All the pintails are gone. They were gone a month or two ago. Like they left early this year that I thought. There's still some mallards and some widgeon and some spoonies here. the snows are really moving hard because they're on that clock. You know, they're on that we have to get to the breeding grounds, like snows are on it heavy. And so they've been moving, the cranes have been moving, so like everything is on the move. But I can tell you at the third week of September, you know, right in like the 20th, 21st to the end of the month, like I could sit outside my house and I could go out there at 10 o'clock at night when it's pitch black, and I could listen to the snows and the specks just come right over me, because they're going from Washington straight to California. They're not even stopping here, and it's every year. So you could set your watch to it. So, you know, the birds are on a schedule and a timeline no matter where they are, and they know where they're going to, you know? Yeah. So
I've seen little cranes that good at eating.
The what? The cranes?
Are they that good at eating?
Yeah. It is the best bird to eat. It is the best bird to eat, hands down.
In post, and it's just like, you know, filet mignon off the sky and all this sort of thing. I'm like, is it that good? You know, I'm just like,
I'll put it this way. Right. If cranes were over there, and listen, you guys got a lot of rednecks. You just have different rednecks over there. But if you had cranes, if you guys had cranes over there, and you tasted them, and you're like, oh my God, you guys would be killing them all.
Yeah.
So,
get on country calendar, right? Yeah, spoke business.
Yeah.
You'd be like, what'd you get today? I got my limited cranes. Did you shoot anything else? Nope, nothing. You know? So yeah, it's a cool bird. It's a weird bird. It looks like it's a dinosaur. Like no kidding. Like it is a dinosaur. Like if you go back and read, you know, and birds were the first that have evolved, or like the only species that has evolved like from prehistoric age. That is a dinosaur, 100%. It is a wild looking bird. Yeah, you could see that thing walking around by like a T-Rex. I'm telling you, it is a freaking dinosaur. It's so wild. Yeah. That definitely, I would put that on my list if I were you guys. 100%. Yeah, it's just like coming down there and shooting the Parries. You guys think like, what the hell do you want to shoot those for, bro? That is such a cool bird. So cool looking. I love it.
That's equal too.
They're one of those birds. Yeah. If they want in, they want in. There's no stopping you be standing out there. You know,
if they want to come, they come. But it's just the colors on that bird, you know, on both of them. It's just incredible. So I remember the first pair we shot, I was like, we sat there taking pictures for like 20 minutes, and the guys are just looking at us like we were idiots.
That green bar, right? And the brownie. Oh yeah, no, it's just,
there's like a gold flip on the drake.
Yeah.
It's like for me, it's the drake. It's the black. It's the black on the chest. It's the black on the chest with the gold on it, like the bronze on top of the black, like
right on the tips of the feathers. It's pretty cool.
Like,
and it's odd that the paradise hen is more decorative than the drake, which is usually the other way around for attracting males and things like that, or females. But the parody hen is just, to me, is stunningly gorgeous. Drake,
that's what I'm saying. If you shoot a pair, it's madness what's going on. Like the colors, you know, it's like shooting two drakes, because the colors on both of them are so wild and incredible. It's the coolest bird, no doubt. When I'm down there, that I'm like, these things are so cool. It's sick. Plus, obviously, we don't get to shoot them, so I want to shoot. You know,
did you shoot him? Yeah. Did you shoot an Australasian shoveler when you were down here?
We shot. I didn't shoot one, but we shot one down at Mike Stentz. I think we might have shot 1 or 2 that day. Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Real cool.
Yeah.
That is
the bird,
yeah.
The white breast gets, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They can have a fully white breast, which is pretty cool.
They're everywhere now as well.
Yeah, they're adapting in the high country.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
They were thought to be like a coastal bird, but we're finding them in all sorts of places.
Yeah, the shovelers are pretty cool, and we obviously you could shoot a white swan here, but we don't have black swans, so shooting one of those, like, those are monsters. Like, shooting one of those is cool. Like, there's, like, you guys definitely have some cool stuff to chase down there, and just seeing the other birds that that you can't shoot, like seeing the teal or seeing the scaup, and things like that, and it's just really cool stuff.
Coots, brown teal, grey teal.
Yeah. You guys got cool stuff. Yeah, there's no doubt. There's so much cool wildlife down there. Yeah.
Like
I enjoy it.
White stilt, what's to get you? This is a good time.
Must have forest and bird over here.
Save the birds.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be ready. I'll be ready for you guys next year, no doubt. So, well, let's do this. We'll do this again or whatever. Hop on or get me some reports, and when you guys start hunting and shooting stuff, make sure you throw up some pictures or send us some pictures. We'll talk and get sorted out, so we'll all we're all good there.
Recap.
Send us your Snapchat, Aria, and then we can send you some more explicit stuff.
I'll add you to Snapchat. Oh my God, here we go.
I'm pretty T-rated. I got kids, but Connor's is.
Connor is the kid. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
I'll get your. It's all right. I'll get your snaps. I'll add you. Too funny.
Yeah.
All right, go drink more beer.
I need one more.
No, I might get a beer
It's not bad, this stuff.
That's terrible. I don't like it.
What are you drinking?
Pale ale.
Pale ale. There you go.
I'm trying to,
have at it.
Trying to justify Connor a wee bit. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I am starting to get awfully large. I'm starting to grow wide, so I need to drink another alcohol.
Look out. Look out. All right, let's stay in touch and we'll talk soon.
Sweet, man.
Cool, man. Thanks for your time, I appreciate it.
All right, cheers, you guys. Talk to you guys soon.
See you. Bye.